Yo, what's up internet? My name is Anthony and welcome to Matchup Analysis, Raiders vs Chiefs. We look at each individual matchup and determine who has the edge. Truthfully, neither of these teams are very good and it's hard to determine who has the edge. First, we start the Raiders offensive line versus Chiefs defensive line. Let's go. The Raiders offensive line is slowly rounding into form. Maybe it has to do with the level of opponents, but they are opening holes. More importantly, they're protecting Derek Carr well. This group will be the key to how far the Raiders team can go. The Chiefs defensive line has started out hot, but has fallen off. They haven't been getting to the quarterback nearly as much and have fallen along with the rest of the team. The edge here goes to the Raiders. One group is on the way up, while the other is on its way down. For the running backs, Marshawn Lynch might be finally getting his legs under him. The Raiders are relying on him more, and the results have been great. He's the workhorse, and the more carries he gets, the better. The Chiefs linebacker core is one of the best on paper. Justin Houston, Derek Johnson, and Dee Ford have the talent to be one of the best linebacking groups. The problem is, they have been inconsistent and have fallen off. I'm still giving the Chiefs the edge. Justin Houston is just too good, and Lynch hasn't played a good team yet. The Raiders wide receivers might be back in full force this week. Amari Cooper had a great game against the Chiefs last time, but hasn't played well since. Michael Crabtree is back from a suspension, but still hasn't played at the same level as he did in the beginning. Overall, this group is inconsistent despite the talent. The Chiefs cornerbacks aren't very good. Marcus Peters is a stud, but everyone else just isn't good. Peters can mask some passing deficiencies, but he needs more help. Steven Nelson isn't playing well and gives up a lot of penalties. I'm still giving the edge to the Chiefs and Marcus Peters. He's just too good and has produced consistently this season. Now, we have a bad matchup. The Raiders' tight ends aren't very good. Jared Cook has his moments, but has been very inconsistent. He's had good matchups the last few weeks, but has laid an egg. Jared Cook is more talent than production at this point. The Chiefs' safety duo isn't very good either. They give up big plays, and they miss Eric Berry. He's the heart and soul of the defense. Sorensen and Parker just aren't very good and give up too many big plays. I'm giving the edge to the Raiders here. Cook has more talent and has produced, but neither group is very exciting. For quarterback versus defensive coordinator, Derek Carr is very slowly starting to heat up. He threw some gimme picks last game, but he still produced overall. He's thrown a touchdown in multiple games in a row now. He's still not the MVP candidate from last year, but at least he's showing signs. Bob Sutton's defense is reeling. One week they do well, and the next they do horrible. This defense is no longer the defense that played well at the beginning of the season. I'm giving the edge to Derek Carr. He's played better as of late, while Sutton's defense has been inconsistent. Now for the Raiders defense versus Chiefs offense. The Raiders defensive line is showing up lately. They get pressure from players besides Khalil Mack. It's important to know that the recent games have come against one of the worst offensive lines. Still, it's nice to see this group producing. The Chiefs, on the other hand, have an okay offensive line. They've been really up and down. One moment they get the running game going, and the next, there's no running game to speak of. I'm giving the edge to the Raiders. The defensive line is playing better, and Mack always gives the Raiders a good advantage. For the Raiders linebackers, they just underwhelm every time. Navarro Bowman has fit in well with this defense and always seems to be in the right place. The problem is, this group just isn't very talented. They underwhelm and just do their job without being spectacular. For the Chiefs, Kareem Hunt has fallen. After going over 100 yards from scrimmage to start the season, he really hasn't done much. He's failed to approach 100 yards the last few games and seems to be in the funk with the rest of the offense. I'm still giving the Chiefs the edge here. Kareem Hunt can produce and play, while the best case scenario for the linebackers is average. The Raiders' cornerbacks are struggling. Don't let the last few weeks fool you. They're still not playing well. John Smith is playing average, and TJ Carey is the most consistent corner. They still lack the speed and agility of most cornerbacks and need help. The Chiefs have Tyreek Hill. He went wild last week and is exactly the type of player the Raiders struggle with. There's no doubt in my mind he will have at least one deep bomb against Reggie Nelson. The edge here easily goes to the Chiefs. Tyreek Hill is better than any Raiders cornerback. In mismatch number 2, we have the Raiders safeties. They haven't allowed anyone to beat them deep recently, so that's good. Evan Ingram, though, did have a great day against them. Again, don't be fooled by the recent stats. They can be had and aren't very good. The Chiefs have Travis Kelce. If the Chiefs wanted to go to him every play, they can do it. Kelce is a mismatch for any matchup. The Raiders have one of the worst. No competition here. The Chiefs have the edge with Kelce. Raiders' new defensive coordinator, John Pagano, has done a better job of creating pressure. Mac moves around and the quarterbacks get uncomfortable. He's still unproven with the Raiders, but he's light years better than Norton. He schemes and tries new things to get this defense to improve. Alex Smith has fallen back down to earth after a hot start. He's had his moments of being a big play quarterback, but still reverts to his conservative self. He's not going to win the game for you, but also won't lose you the game. It's close, but I'm giving the Chiefs the edge. Pagano is still unproven, and you know what you'll get from Alex Smith. For the head coaches, Jack Del Rio believes in his players. He coaches with a swagger that rubs off on his players. I don't think he's good as a schemer though. He really doesn't create mismatches and relies on his coordinators to make adjustments. Andy Reid is one of the best head coaches in the NFL. He's excellent at finding and exploiting mismatches. He's great at designing plays to get the playmakers the ball in the most advantageous positions. The edge here easily goes to the Chiefs and Andy Reid. Not even a question. The overall edge here goes to the Chiefs. Truthfully, neither team is playing well right now. The Chiefs are in free fall after a hot start, while the Raiders are trying to be average. We don't know what we're going to get from this game from both teams, and nothing would surprise me about this game.